and every day it's open to criticism. One of his most vocal critics, Congresswoman Elise Stefanik. You know her, you love her, and she joins us right now on WGY. Good morning, Congresswoman.
Good morning, Doug. Good to be with you and Diane this morning.
Let's start with a tweet you put out yesterday. I just want to read it verbatim because I loved it. More lies, many more. Nonsensical deflections and outrageous fabrications come reflexively to Cuomo as he twists in a windstorm of his own making. Tell me how you really feel about the governor.
Well, that's actually from the New York Post. So he is getting widely condemned, not just from Republicans, but from Democrats as well, who understand that this is very, very serious. They obstructed justice, and there needs to be immediate action, an immediate independent investigation of him and his senior team. And what's really frustrating, Doug, is all throughout this process, the governor has forgotten that the people he represents are everyday New Yorkers. I've spent time talking to loved ones who have lost their senior moms, dads, sisters, brothers in nursing homes. And they've been asking for months and months and months, almost a year, with just stonewalling from this governor. So it's a shame. He should be condemned, and he needs to be prosecuted.
So where does the... Everybody's talking about we got to rein him in, we got to get after him, we got to make something happen. But I don't have any confidence that the DOJ is going to do it with Biden ultimately in charge. We did see some Democratic assemblymen introduce a bill to strip him of the executive powers. But where is the best chance that you see that something meaningful can be done?
So I think there are three immediate steps. So you are seeing a number of Democrats step forward at the state level saying they need to rein in the emergency powers. They need to do that as soon as possible. They're even considering coming back from their district work periods to pass that in Albany. This is what the Republican state senators and state assemblymen and women have been saying for months at this point, but it is clear that those emergency powers need to be reined back to the legislative branch. Second, the Attorney General needs to continue her investigation. Remember, this really blew open when Attorney General Letitia James put out really a scathing report of not only Governor Cuomo and his team underreporting the numbers, but how they mismanaged this crisis when it came to protecting our most vulnerable. And then the DOJ. It's not just Republican members. You have members like Antonio Delgado, who is a Democrat, coming out in support of an independent investigation. And what I want to know is, the secretary to the governor stated that they were considering, frankly, withholding information from the DOJ. I want to know what they sent in response to the DOJ inquiry, if they sent anything, when they sent it, because that's a serious federal crime if it was an obstruction of justice. This is the first test of President Biden as well. He has committed to an apolitical, independent DOJ. If he protects Governor Cuomo because of their political alliance, political friendship, and political party, that is breaking that promise. And frankly, that's breaking his constitutional oath to every American.
You know, you've touched on this a little bit now. Bipartisan fighting and loyalties and all of that seems to be on everybody's minds a lot right now. And as a reminder, can you tell us what ways you're able to work with Democrats right now?
I actually have, if you look at my legislative record, I have the top 10% most bipartisan records in Congress, whether it's working on northern border issues to safely reopen the U.S.-Canadian border, whether it's supporting the Lake Champlain Basin program, which funds conservation programs in my district, whether it's increasing access to rural child care, which is more important than ever over the course of this pandemic and really an issue in the North Country. So my record in terms of bills and legislation in the House is in the top 10% most bipartisan. And yes, I get attacked from the left because, you know, I think it's because I'm a Republican young woman from New York State. In Nancy Pelosi and National Democrats' world, they don't think I should exist, but I'm standing up for my district every day. And it's bipartisan cries to investigate Governor Cuomo. This is no longer, and it never was, about partisanship. You've had from the beginning courageous Democrats who have understood that there needs to be transparency and accountability when it comes to the loss of lives. Over 15,000 vulnerable seniors lost their lives in our nursing homes because of the fatal mistake of Governor Cuomo. But what's worse is the corrupt cover-up.
Speaking of Congresswoman Elise Stefanik, you saw the numbers last week, Zogby poll on Governor Cuomo. You fared better than anybody in a head-to-head matchup against Governor Cuomo, hypothetically, in 2022. How about we break some news right now? Are you running for governor in 2022?
I just had an election. I just am very proud to have the support overwhelmingly of my district. I have geographically the biggest district in New York State by a lot. I work hard every day serving this district. That's what I'm focused on, doing my job. And 2022 is actually a long way away, and there is a lot of work that lies ahead of us. Right now, I'm focused on COVID relief. I'm focused on growing the economy in the North Country, reopening the U.S.-Canadian border. So there's a lot of work that lies ahead, but I believe that whoever runs for governor is going to have a very strong chance to defeat Governor Cuomo, who I believe is the worst governor in America.
One more from me, anyway. We saw former President Trump yesterday, a scathing rebuke of Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell. I guess two-part question. One, is it official now that the Republican Party is at war, and do Republicans have to pick sides at this point?
You know, the media loves to talk about Republican Party infighting, and there's a ton of infighting going on the Democratic Party. I'm a big believer that the determinant of the future of the Republican Party is not, you know, whether it's Mitch McConnell, Donald Trump, or someone else. It's the people that make those decisions. It's the primary voters in the Republican Party. I disagreed with Leader McConnell's statement on the Senate floor. I believe the snap impeachment was unconstitutional, both process-wise, but also the substance. They did not prove their case of the article of impeachment related to incitement that the Democrats put forth. I do think President Trump is going to continue to be an important voice in the Republican Party and an important voice in America. His message certainly resonates with voters in my district and voters across the country. So I disagreed with Leader McConnell, but the people are going to determine the future of the Republican Party.
Congresswoman Elise Stefanik, there's never enough time. Always enjoy the conversation. I hope we can do it again soon.
Absolutely. Good to speak with you, Doug.
Elise Stefanik, right here on Doug and Kelly with Diane Donato at 7.